Hey friend, welcome back. It's lovely to have you here. Do you ever walk into an art shop and look at all the oil paints and wonder, I don't know which ones to have in my palette and in my set? Well, today, my friend, I'm going to share that with you, and I'm also going to share with you how you can store your paints, and I'm going to give you a free download of all of the colors that I use, and that's in the description below. I got all excited when I thought about this video, and I spent some time tonight having a bit of a play with the colours that are actually in my palette set. 22 colours. There's actually only 20 colours here. The other two are black and white, or Payne's grey and titanium white is what I use. Now, everyone and every artist, and especially every oil painting artist, has all sorts of different ways of doing things. I do things a little differently. I really want my students to have a process that makes it easy for them. So we don't just use the classic, 5 colours, the red, yellow, blue, brown, and white. But I actually have enough colours that you don't have to mix everything all the time, but you can still learn a lot about mixing colours, because of course there are so many more colours that you're going to have in the trees, in the sky, and all sorts of things, but at least here you've got a really good place to start. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you is how I sort of group all those colours and why I have chosen those colours. Okay, I'm going to show you all these colours now and how they relate to what I've got here, so you can see what the colours look like. Here's the whole set that I have here. I'm going to look at maybe the greens first. How about that? So we're going to start over here. So we're going to start with this deeper green, which is a phthalo green, or I've got a spectrum viridian, which is very similar. We've got a sap green, and we've got Australian leaf green light, which is like an olive. So that's this colour over here. And then we have like a really bright, like a cad green. This is in a different brand because cads can be really expensive. So that's why I've got that there. So that's those 4 green colours there. Let's move on to the yellows now. So we've got a cool yellow and a warm yellow. So spectrum yellow and golden yellow. So that they are the only yellows that I use. That's all you need. It's great. Awesome. Hey, let's go for our browns now. Let's look at, so we're coming around here. We've got a spectrum, sienna, sorry, what did I say, spectrum? A burnt sienna and a burnt umber here. So the lighter and a bit darker. By the way, around the edge, I've added black to these colours just to show you. And in the middle, I've added white to just show you the difference. All right, and then also we've got like dusty pink, which has sort of got a little bit of a browny colour into that here. All right, let's go into our reds now. Let's have a look at them all. Here we go. All right, cool. So what do we come around to? We've got our deep red. I've got different brands here. Sometimes I find different, some of them can be a bit cheaper. And just a reminder, you can download this sheet here, which has all the colours that we're talking about today. And it also has the different brands, because not everyone's from Australia who can get this brand, this Art Spectrum brand. There's also Gamblin and also Winsor & Newton. So sometimes I'll end up buying different brands depending on the price. So we have this Cad Deep Red here, and which is this one here. Then we have another red, which is like more of a medium cad red, and then we have spectrum, and then we've got a pink, a sort of a violety pink. So that's here, we're coming around here. Actually, we'll go the other way around. There's this really bright pink here. So we've got a darker reds, they're getting more brighter. This is your spectrum red, and this is a really bright pink, a Quincredone Opera. It's a very unusual brand. Wherever you're from around the world, you might be able to go and find it. It's a bit of a fluoro pink. I searched the whole art shop to find something that's a bit more brighter so that I can use it for really bright sunsets and things like that. And this is another pink here that gives a really beautiful colour. It's really hard to mix pinks, so it's good to find pinks. And one of my favourite colours is magenta. So that's a really cool colour. And then just to finish that off here in these reds, we've got a violet or a purple, or any sort of purple will do there, just to have some sort of purple in here. I think I've written down Flinders Blue Violet or Cobalt Violet if you're looking that up somewhere else. And then we've got our blues. All right, and again, not that many. Like the greens, we have about 4. We've got these sort of greeny blues over here. So it starts with ultramarine, and then we have, which is this really bright blue. We have a phthalo blue, we have sapphire, and then we have turquoise. So you can see how they all work together. So these are the colours. This is the only colours I have in my palette, in my set. I've forgotten 2 colours, which is black and white, or titanium white and Payne's grey as well. So this is what I've mixed the colours here to make. I've used titanium white to mix a lighter colour of those, and I've used the Payne's grey to mix a darker colour of all those there. So there you go. I hope that's been helpful. Now we're going to have a look at how I store these. All right, so here's the amazing little case, and like I said, it's a makeup case which has a really cool, it has a few different areas of that you can actually open up. There's a top area here that I use to put in, my palettes and things like that in here, which is really cool. And then underneath you can open it up here, and there's a cool spot to put all of your brushes. How cool is that? So great. And then here we have all of the spaces for your paints. Now this is how I store my paints. So I have them in sections of colours, like I was showing you before with all the colours that I use. I have my greens, my blues, my reds, and my yellows and browns. So that's how I sort them. And then I have the black and white over here and some medium, and my odd colours that, I might have, found from somewhere else I just have over there. So yeah. That's pretty simple. That's the way I love to do it, and it keeps everything in order, and it helps me know exactly where everything is when I come to paint. I hope that's been really helpful. I love this case so much. You can get bigger ones. These ones, you lay these down, but you can get taller ones, much sort of wider than this one, and so that you can actually get the paints to stand up. And a lot of my students really like getting bigger ones like that. I don't really need any more than this because that's the amount of paints that I have. Well, I hope that's been helpful tonight. I know I've had a lot of fun mixing colours. Oh my goodness, so many colours tonight. I do want to point out though, when we look at colours and when we look at the storage and all those sorts of things, you can do whatever you like. I'm just sharing with you the knowledge that's helped me. You might like to store your paints in a bag. You might like to store them in a case, a different sort of case that's been handed down through the generations. This is just one suggestion. Might I say thank you to Kylie for pointing out this particular case, because I've really enjoyed it, and so has many of my students. So thank you, Kylie. And I just want to remind you that your art matters. You are valuable. Your creativity is valuable, and painting should feel a lot like a gift and not a stress. Until next time, keep painting, keep creating, and I'll look forward to seeing you next week.